Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Breaking Bets, episode 10. It's just me and good old Moosey boy here today. Unfortunately, our companions aren't able to make it today.
Not really committed.
Oh, not really committed. I say that to their face next episode. Yeah, no, we'll get into why they're not here, but we do have some discouraging news. Nick Rue might not be part of the podcast anymore. So if you do watch this, I've texted him today. Encourage him to come back on.
We miss you, Rue.
Yeah.
Come back, brother.
Yeah. So
Don't leave us hanging.
yeah. We don't know why. He left the group chat today. Tried to reach out all day and no answers. So I don't. Hopefully he comes back. But
It's all good, though. We're still here.
Yeah, we're still here. We're still going to give you some recaps of the game today. Absolutely electric weekend of football. I say football because college football was a lot better than NFL this weekend, in my opinion. NFL was pretty trash. Couple good games, but
Couple big upsets, but
yeah, couple big upsets, big headlines. But overall, college had some electric games this weekend, and it's carrying over next weekend, and we'll get into that. But let's start out with our NFL recaps. So, we start out. Do we want to do a brief recap of the Chiefs and Broncos? Or there's really not much to say about it.
yeah, Pat Mahomes only had one tud. It was the low-scoring game, but Chiefs still pulled off the dub.
Yeah, Chiefs dominate the Broncos. I think it's like 18 or 17 straight against them.
Yeah, Mahomes never lost.
Not much to be said. Sean Payton's a fraud. I said it the first episode of this podcast. Sean Payton's a fraudulent coach. Had Drew Brees his whole career. And it just shows. Once he came to the fucking Broncos, he was like, oh, this isn't my fault. This was Nathaniel Hackett's. And then the Jets beat them. And now it's... Listen, Sean Payton, you're a fraud.
Broncos are trash. End of story.
I don't pull out the F word often, but you guys are frauds. But
The Broncos?
yes, the Broncos. Sean Fraud Payton.
Pretty sure Chiefs only won by 9, though, right?
Did they?
Yeah, I think Broncos.
No, I think they backdoor covered. The Chiefs?
Really?
I think they might have. I don't know where my phone is. But it's behind me. Give me 1 second. But yeah, no, dude. Sean Payton tried blaming that shit on Hackett. Nope, Chiefs won 19-8. They backdoor covered. The spread was 10.5. Yeah.
Damn.
They backdoor covered. But yeah, so that was Thursday Night Football. Now we go into London. The Ravens win 24 to the Titans 16. How you feeling about that, Moose?
Big Ravens guy, like you guys already know, but didn't bet on him this week. Was off the train. Could have been a mistake. They had a nice little dub today. Nice bounce back game coming off that disgusting loss last week. But
to be honest, I thought for the NFL, Ravens might have been the biggest lock of the week at 4.5. And here's why.
I wasn't too locked in on it.
Here's why. There's shit when it comes to these London games. Like when they go to London. The Ravens were in London on Monday. The Titans didn't get there till Thursday. The Ravens got acclimated all week, and that's why they got off to a big start, and that's what helped them.
Yeah, I see that playing a factor in it.
Yeah, 100%. Look at the Jaguars. They were in London for 2 weeks, and then they dominated the Bills. They weren't sleepwalking against them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when they got there, when they were versing the Falcons, but all these London games, these teams are like sleepwalking through it. Like I'm so done with these European games.
Yeah.
Like I'm so done. Like listen, I've been to Europe. It's a nice it's a nice continent. All right, I've spent 6 months overseas. Great continent. All right, NFL shouldn't be played there. It just shouldn't.
Yeah, and the time difference is stupid too.
Yeah,
like 9 a.m.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And
no one's waking up at 9 a.m.
Well, think about it, too. It's 9 a.m. for us, right? On the West Coast, that's fucking 6 a.m. Like
Yeah,
you're
no
telling
one's
me
wa-
you're
they're
telling
bringing in no viewers
you're telling
from the
me
West
our
Coast.
boys in Los Angeles are waking up at
There's
6
no
a.m. Well, 5:45. Let's be real
Yeah.
to watch what the Falcons and Jags or the Ravens and the Titans.
Was there 2 touchdowns in that game?
Yeah, I mean,
No one's waking up to watch
yeah,
that.
I still listen. I've said this for 6 weeks now. I still don't know what the Titans are because they I don't know.
They play good at home, but on the road, complete different ball game.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're just like a frisky team that might hand out a couple losses here and there. Yeah, I mean,
Good bounce back for the Ravens.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Ravens flock. We're not giving up hope just yet. Tough schedule coming up, though.
yeah, you
As
got
a
the
look
Lions
ahead.
next week.
Yeah, it's like a Lions, Atlanta. I know the Chargers are in there in a couple weeks.
Yeah. No, but I mean, Lamar Jackson, I want to say this. Guy's a scumbag. Guy's a scumbag.
Why are you saying that?
So I don't say this because he blew my bet. I will tell you why after. So in my bet, I had Zay Flowers over 3.5 or 4.5 receptions. Cash.
Like it.
6. Ravens money line. Cash. Zay Flowers anytime touchdown score. Cash. Last leg. Lamar
leg.
Jackson over 1.5 passing tutties. Guy only had 1. And he had many, many chances to get 2.
Yeah, they kicked a lot of field goals.
And here is why I think he's a scumbag. Because he tweets out, I don't give a damn about your fantasy teams or parlays. I'm just trying to win. So I replied to him. I said, you know what? I don't respect that statement. Back it up in the playoffs. I forget what the... Yeah, I said...
We'll see in a couple months.
Yeah, I mean... Let me see what I said back to him. I doubt he ever reads it. I hope he does respond. I said, keep that same energy in the playoffs. So
He's just trying to get the win. Doesn't care about the parlays.
he should care about the parlays.
Just a winning
We
guy.
pay his damn salary.
He's just a winning guy.
We pay his damn salary. He should be getting touchdowns.
It's all good. He had 1.
But yeah, I mean that's all I have for that game. I mean the Titans stink, kind of. I'm leaning towards that. They stink.
Yeah, I'm on the side that they stink.
Like I still don't know what they are, but they stink.
Very good at home. Vrabel can coach up a good team.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I think if they got rid of Tannehill, I mean, here's the thing: Tannehill gets hurt, and you put Malik Willis in.
Yeah, what was the point of drafting Levis?
What was the
in
point of
second round?
drafting Will Levis? That guy probably
bro.
drank some nice London tea in the morning, put some mayo in it. He was ready to fucking go.
Yeah.
What was the point of drafting
Get that
him?
Heinz mayo
Yeah, like what was the point of drafting him if you're not gonna fucking?
or Hellman's mayo? My bad.
No, I do like Hellman's. Yeah, but yeah. So Ravens 24, Titans 16. Second game, we got the Commies 24, Falcons 16, ending Desmond Ritter's undefeated home streak since his junior year of high school.
Yeah, I was the only one that was taking Commanders in the pick video last week. Only one that believed him.
You were the
Ritter
only.
this, Ritter that. I mean, I don't think the guy.
Listen, no one was saying Ritter this, Ritter that. It's just stats, all right? The guy is just... No one's saying Ritter plays unbelievable.
I don't think he's that good.
No one thinks he's that good. We've been shitting on him for weeks. But facts are facts. No one was saying Ritter performs unreal at home. Like, no one was saying, yo, Ritter's going to throw for 500. No, it's just the fact that Ritter doesn't lose at home.
He lost.
And he did lose. So you can't ride that wave anymore. The Falcons, they need to move on from Ritter. I mean, 3 interceptions.
Yeah, he's definitely holding them back.
It felt like at the end of that game, they literally got the ball back. Their defense gave them the ball back 5 times.
Couple opportunities to pull it off.
Many opportunities. And we're
get it
just not getting it done. I mean, you have
It's not.
Bijan Robinson. Ooh, Kyle Pitts scored his first touchdown today. Finally scored. He's not dead.
Gets like 1 touchdown a year.
Yeah.
If he scores the second time, I'd be surprised.
Do you think Kyle Pitts is about to take Jonnu Smith's starting spot in the lineup?
He could. Jonnu Smith is actually pretty good, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting a little old.
He's been doing better than
Kyle
him
Pitts
every
is,
week.
fresh legs, emerging superstar. Who knows?
Could be.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean,
Drake London had a couple good snags.
he did have a couple good snags. Another thing I had was you have Desmond Ridder, right? Taylor Heineke's the backup, and they're versing the Commanders. Revenge game. Once Desmond Ridder throws that third pick, you throw in Heineke, and Heineke can sling the ball down the field.
Yeah, I actually didn't even think of that.
No.
That would have been a good move.
100%. Why not throw in Heineke? Give yourself a chance to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would have got it done.
I agree.
And it was at home. And then you could literally say Desmond Ridder never loses at home.
Heineke pulls off the comeback dub revenge game.
100%. Could have happened, but it didn't because I don't know what's up with Arthur Smith, but goddamn. Time to move on from Ridder, buddy. I really think they should consider, like, in the offseason, like, trading for Justin Fields. Because if the Bears get that first pick. Yeah, well, here's the thing. If the Bears get that first pick from the Panthers, which is looking very likely, I don't see a world where they don't draft Caleb Williams. You can't do it.
Yeah, they got to.
You can't not pass on.
You have to move on.
Yeah, because, like, I don't think Fields is, like, the guy. Like, I don't think they trust him as the guy to take their franchise going forward.
Yeah. No.
And then he's coming up on that contract, Fields too. So it's like, are you going to pay Justin Fields or are you going to restart, take Caleb Williams, see where it goes with that? And then you could probably get good draft capital from Justin Fields also.
Yeah,
they still have
a couple picks.
And
maybe not at first, but
yeah, I mean they'll still have they'll still have their own first rounder too, because if they end up getting the second pick, which is very it's likely, like they can get Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I know.
And then if they trade Fields for some draft capital, draft a couple players, and then it's a win-win for the Falcons too. You get rid of Ridder. And then you see where Justin Fields can take you. I think Justin Fields would thrive with the Falcons.
I could see him picking up a free agent like a Kirk Cousins. He's in a contract year.
Yeah, I mean, that too. But I think that would be the best move for the Falcons. Justin Fields, Georgia guy. He'd have weapons. He'd have Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, everything at his disposal. And the defense is really good.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
So, hey, Falcons, if you're watching this, let me be your GM. I'll get it done. Yeah, that's about all I had for that game.
Yeah, I don't have too much on the Commanders. Wasn't big on the Falcons going into this game. Still gonna ride against them next week. Not a big believer.
Who they versus them next week? You don't know?
I'm not too sure, but
you're just fading them.
Yeah.
All right, keep that in mind for Thursday. I'm gonna remind you.
I'm riding against them.
All right, word. All right, next game we got the Seahawks 13, Bengals 17. The Bengals are alive. They are so alive. It's not Undertaker getting out of the cat. Like, they are in the ring, ready to fucking fight.
He's in the ring. It's WrestleMania.
Yep, he's in the ring. Yep. They're going into their bye week, 3-3. Gives Joe Burrow an extra week to heal. Well, actually 2 weeks, I guess. Gives Joe Burrow an extra 2 weeks to heal that calf up. I'm looking forward to it. They didn't have any like an electric game, but they did what they had to do to get it done.
Yeah, it was a solid game for the Bengals.
Yeah,
Seahawks kind of underperformed. I had them as like a nice underdog play this week, but Gino couldn't get it done, I guess.
Yeah, you posted on the story this morning. Seahawks and Chicago Bears. You made people unlock it.
Yeah, the parlays came a little short this week. I'm sorry, fellas. Anyone that tailed, I'm so sorry. Bet responsibly, though. Always remember that.
Yeah.
And next week, we're coming in hot and heavy. Don't give up faith.
Yeah, and if anything, you don't have to ride the single parlays. You can just take any of those plays that you like and choose them how you see fit. I went through this weekend with a few buddies in the group chat. I laid out some college plays. And I think I laid out 11 plays. They went 8-3. People were like, "Hey, which one should I pick?" I go, "Choose them as you see fit. I'm not going to be the one responsible when you pick the wrong ones."
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money.
Yeah, definitely bet responsibly, especially if it's like a long shot like an underdog parlay or something that's paying out heavy odds, don't go crazy on it.
Yeah, so obviously, the Bengals are back, but I want to talk about the Seahawks a little. I think they're still good. I'm not worried about the Seahawks at all.
Yeah, I still like the Seahawks. It was a low-scoring game. It was a tough game for them. DK Metcalf getting banged up. He was in and out of the game.
The Bengals are a good team. That's a respectable team to lose to.
Yeah, understandable.
But,
Rams and the Bengals, their 2 losses.
Yeah. It hurts that they couldn't get the win today because the Niners lost too.
Yeah.
Because they would have been neck and neck for the division.
Yeah, that is tough.
Another thing I had from this game is DK Metcalf's a diva.
Really?
Did you see that fucking unnecessary roughness penalty he had for grabbing the guy's face mask and throwing him to the ground?
Nah.
Guy's a fucking diva. Absolute diva. Yeah, I mean, Bengals are back. I think the Seahawks are fine. I wouldn't worry too much about them. Which leads us to the next game. We have the Colts 20, Jags 37.
Jeez.
The Jags are sneakily 4-2.
They came up short against the Texans a couple weeks ago, but ever since then they
came up short against the Texans. They got fucking destroyed by the Texans.
They've been on fire since then.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence finally had over 1 touchdown. He had 2. Travis Etienne, sneaky performance this year. He's having a sneaky good year.
He's looking good on the ground.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't talking about it.
He has the most broken tackles in the league.
I mean, a lot of people in the offseason were talking about the Jags and like how they can, they have an easy schedule. They can make a run this year. And during the season, we're not hearing that much talk about them because obviously
not too much buzz.
Yeah, which I think is good. I think it's good for a team to not have buzz. Calvin Ridley looked insane again today.
Insane.
Absolutely remarkable. Every single week, he just shows up to play.
Could be top 3 at this point.
Yeah.
He's just looking that insane.
And if this is your first time tuning in, just if you know, you know. Calvin Ridley.
He looked insane.
Fucking menace. Yeah, so another thing is I was worried. My divisional parlay is looking good after that. Very good shape. And very good shape because I don't think the Texans will be able to catch up to the Jaguars.
Yeah,
I think when it comes to the Texans and Jaguars again, the Jaguars are going to split that, especially later in the season if Jacksonville gets hot. And
they finished 2-0 versus the Colts. That was the second game.
Yep, so that was good. If they can get some dubs against the Titans. And on top of that, Anthony Richardson is considering ending his season.
Yeah, I heard that. That's tough for the Colts.
That's a tough
if it's Minshew mania for the rest of the year,
especially since you just got Taylor back.
Yeah, they needed that run game to be elite.
Yeah, so that's tough because Richardson was looking good. He
did look
decent.
good.
Yeah,
looked like a little Cam Newton 2.0.
He did, and that's pretty sad. But I think Minshew can rattle off some wins.
He looked good against that game against the Ravens, but today he came up short big time against his old team, the Jags.
Yeah, maybe the Colts
revenge game.
Maybe the Colts can draft a wide receiver that's better than Michael Pittman.
Yeah, I know that dude, Josh Downs.
Yeah,
he's not that bad.
Did he do good receiver today?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what his stats were, but yeah, they got a decent rookie receiver named Josh Downs.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up a Michael Pittman stat line. See if he did.
He had like 12 fantasy points.
Oh, Michael Pittman did have a good game.
70 yards.
nine catches for 109 yards.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Michael Pittman actually did do good. He wouldn't have won the T-shirt bet this week, though. Are you aware of the Michael Pittman bet?
I've heard of him.
Yeah, I don't think you've been on one of those shows yet.
I never did the bet.
Every now and then, Joseph will bring up, Michael Pittman's trash, and I'm like, do we lay the Michael Pittman bet, which is usually 70 yards and a touchdown, and we'll all buy Michael Pittman shirts and wear them to the podcast. So you are part of that now. I don't know if you guys have caught on, but Nick's a permanent part of the show. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations on the promotion.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael Pittman did not win the bet this week though. So even though there was never a bet in the first place, but
and for the record, I'm a Michael Pittman guy. But if we're all riding a bet, then I'm gonna have to ride it with him.
Yeah. And here's another thing is like we say bet responsibly. All right. We do this every night. We don't do it every week because it's not responsible. So we'll probably throw in like 5 more Michael Pittman bets for the rest of the year.
Throughout the year. Yeah.
4 minimum. 4 minimum. 6 maximum. But let's get into Panthers-Dolphins. Panthers 21, Dolphins 42. I wish Cabral was here for this, so we get a little fins up. But Panthers got out to a quick 14-0 start. It was a little scary for the Dolphins. I texted Cabral. I'm like, Dolphins? ... He goes, very flaccid fin right now. And I go, it's looking tough.
Yeah,
but
the fin was very soft.
I mean, as soon as you know it, they're up fucking, boom, 28-14. Like, Raheem Mostert goes nuts.
Yeah, I think they got 3 touchdowns in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Game completely
It was nuts. It was
real
just,
quick.
Yeah, it was like, in a blink of an eye, they were up fucking 21-14. It was crazy. And
Mostert went off for 3 tuds.
Yeah, so Mostert has 10 touchdowns on the season. I don't know.
It's pretty good.
I don't know the stat for this, but that seems relatively quick for someone to get 10 touchdowns through the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's very fast. It's only a third way through the season.
Like that's very fast. Most people don't even get like 6 touchdowns in the season.
Yeah, in the whole season.
So it's like 10 touchdowns. That's pretty legit.
Through the first 6 games.
No consideration for Offensive Player of the Year, apparently.
Nah, not yet, I guess.
No. But Tyreek Hill had another 150-yard day. That was by far. So I do a goat wheel like Book It what Trent does. And I have Christian McCaffrey over 875 yards on the ground.
Like that.
Fucking easy money.
Yeah, I know. 800.
Easy money. 875.
Yeah.
I think it was actually 850. And then I have Nick Bosa, 15.5 sacks. That's looking kind of tough. He only has like 2 right now, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then I have I'll get to that after. I have Justin Fields over 800 rushing yards. Might look a little tough because he did get hurt in the game. But I think he's about at like 200, 250 right now. So there's still room.
He's on track.
There's still room.
He's a little bit under track.
Mm-hmm.
But he's right there.
I have Tua, 26.5 passing touchdowns. I think he's at 13 now. 13 or 14.
Killing it.
Then I have this was the easiest square. Besides McCaffrey.
What one?
Tyreek Hill over 5.5 100-yard receiving games.
What is he at?
He's at 4.
Jeez.
And it's only week 6.
Yeah, 4 through 6 weeks.
Too easy. Hopefully it hits. Nick Bosa's looking tough, so I might only get double the money. I put 25 on it, so maybe I'll win 50 out of it. Who knows? 250 if it all hits. But, yeah, so the other thing I had was Tyreek Hill got the touchdown, did the little backflip celly with the camera. NFL took it down. Very lame. NFL, no fun, sir.
Can't do sellies, can't wear the cleats.
NFL literally is that meme from Remember the Titans. They're like, oh, so you think football's fun? It's like, no, sir. No fun, sir. No fun. NFL equals 0 fun, sir.
Yeah, they've been fining A.J. Brown for his pink cleats, too.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're going to look at that video of Jason Kelsey's daughter being like, Mom, the pink shoes. And you're going to tell me that's not the cutest thing ever?
Yeah, I know.
And then you're going to fine A.J. Brown for that?
Yeah.
I'm going to write a letter to the NFL. Lame. But yeah, Dolphins 42, Panthers 21. I think they would have covered the spread anyways because it was 13.5, but they did get a last second touchdown, which ultimately locked the spread if anyone took the alternates. So, which leads us to the next game. Vikings 19, Bears 13. I had the over. I was very wrong about this. But I also have an excuse, which is...
Fields got hurt.
Fields did get hurt, and I already forget the name of their backup, but he sucked.
Yeah, I forgot his name, too.
That guy, yeah, I just want to...
Undrafted rookie.
Yeah, I want to leave that in the past and just let it be. I did have the Bears. I thought the Bears might have been back. This was their perfect opportunity to do it.
They were semi-back, and now they're just not even close anymore.
So,
right back to where they were 2 weeks ago.
Since we do the Undertaker comparisons, last week the Bears were like, we opened the casket.
It was slightly creaked.
No.
Creaked open.
We opened the casket to see if they're alive. The eyes were still closed. If they won this week, it would have been like a rise up. And they're up. Like the Bengals.
Yeah. I think it was a little bit less than that. I think it was like a semi-creak, like open it up, check it real quick, and then just slam it right back down.
Yeah, but here's why I said they like opened it and then like they're just like we're checking to see if there's a pulse because Justin Fields had 2 electric weeks in a row.
Yeah,
that's
true.
why I say that.
That's true.
So I get your comparison, but that's why I personally think it was like, let me see if there's a pulse. No pulse.
It was a pulse check.
It was a pulse check, and then they closed the casket.
Pulse check.
No pulse.
Slam it right back.
Yeah.
down.
No pulse.
Because now we're right back to where they were.
No pulse. Dead.
Dead.
Dead
on scene.
Yeah.
Pulse check. Oh, dead on scene.
But Vikings win another one-score game. I think all of their games this season have been by one score.
Jesus.
It's so impressive. They did it last season too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like holy shit.
Yeah, the Bears still almost pulled it off, but
I mean, let's be real. Justin Jefferson, if he's in this game, Vikings might dominate.
Yeah, Vikings roll.
I honestly completely forgot he was out this game, but he is out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, the Vikings offense, it was a little slow at first, but they ended up getting it going a little bit. Jordan Addison touchdown.
Unfortunately, Addison didn't get the yards.
Yeah, the 55 yards came up a little short.
Yeah, Hawkinson hit his. Lawrence hit his. What was Joe's prop?
Nakua yards.
Nakua?
Ooh, I don't know. They probably
We
hit.
might have went 3-1 on like all our things. Actually, no, because both the overs didn't hit. So the game lines went 2-2.
Let me check.
Or no, right now it's 1-2 because Joseph had Bills 14
check the
and a
Rams
half.
game. He definitely hit the yards.
I don't know because Cooper Kupp had a game.
Nah, he came way under. Puka Nakua 26 yards.
I like that. Gives Bijan a shot at Rookie of the Year.
We needed 70.
Yep.
69.
Yeah, so we went 2-2 on that. We went 3-1 on the touchdown.
So
Joseph's inevitable.
So close.
We'll get into that once we get to the Bucs.
Yeah, once the Bucs game rolls around.
But yeah, so that was my last note. Bears are dead again. Next game, I honestly don't really want to talk about this game. They kept showing this game on Red Zone, and it was just fucking god-awful. It was between this one. They kept showing the Vikings, Bears, Commanders, Falcons, and the Saints, Texans, which no one wants to watch.
Yeah, this is probably the gross game.
Yeah, it was. It was one of the higher scoring games too, but it was gross. I mean, Texans 20, Saints 13. I'm honestly, I picked the Saints, but I'm happy the Texans won because the Saints suck. They're so boring, uninteresting. They have all these weapons. They have Michael Thomas, who I think can still be a good receiver. They have Rashid Shaheed. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They have.
He's actually pretty decent.
I know. That's why I said him before Chris Olave. Olave's obviously better, but I just wanted to say him because he looks so good. I mean, you still have the Swiss Army knife, Taysom Hill. You have Alvin Kamara. Like how are you not? I don't think Derek Carr's the scrub anymore. I mean, Dennis Allen's just an awful head coach. I don't know why they hired him.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's up with the Saints. I feel like they're similar to the Titans.
Absolutely. That's a great comparison. You want to know what's funny about that? Week 1, their game was so boring with 6 field goals. Like, it makes sense, right? Perfect teams, dude. It's so boring. Like, CJ, I mean, one noted for the Texans this game is C.J. Stroud threw his first interception.
Finally threw a pick.
Yeah, which I think was good for him. It's a nice little reality check. And the funny part about it was the guy who got the interception, he fumbled it, and then the Texans got the ball right back. So it's like you threw the interception, but you don't feel so bad about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you throw that interception, and then it's like you go to the bench, and you're like, fuck, man. I just threw the pick, and you might get a little mentally down. But no, it's like you throw the interception and
actually
you're right back on offense and you're going right back down the field.
They actually got a first down out of it.
Exactly. It's like
you
then you get the
pick,
first
and then
down.
you
You're
get a
like,
first
dude,
down.
that pick wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
C.J. Stroud might have the best first interception of all time.
Yeah. It was a first down. That's pretty much what it came down to.
100%. Which leads us to the last game of the 1 o'clock slate. I know this is heartbreaking for you. Not because
the
you're
Niners
not
game?
because you're a Niners fan or anything.
Yeah,
but
this was tough.
the Browns 19,
Jeez.
the 49ers 17. 49ers dropped their first game of the season.
Yeah, it was a tough game. It was raining and shit through the beginning. I think it stopped at the end, but Niners 2 missed field goals, 1 to lose the game at the very end.
Yeah, funny thing about that was Jake Moody's whole family showed up to Cleveland to watch him absolutely shit the game away.
The game.
Yeah. Well, obviously the kickers can't hear the announcers, but it was an all-time jinx by both Red Zone and the announcers of the game because that last field goal, they were absolutely glazing him. They were like, this was one of the, they were like
this and that.
They were like, quote unquote, they were like, this guy was the best kicker in college football for years and made big kicks for Michigan against the Illinois and all this stuff. And he's 8 for 8 on the season, hasn't missed one yet. And then it's like, boom, just a smidge to the right.
Yeah, it's all good.
I say
I needed them bad for one of my parlays, but so they screwed me big time. But the Eagles ended up losing themselves. We'll get into that game. But,
yeah.
So at least that makes me feel a little bit better.
McCaffrey and Debo got hurt.
Yeah, McCaffrey exited twice.
Yep. McCaffrey scored, though. So it is 50. I think he tied the NFL record with 15 straight games in the end zone.
It's insane. It's literally cash money every week.
I said this in the group chat. We're going to get into college football in a little bit. But I said Duke -3. So backstory. Our group chat was talking about stocks and investments and 401ks and all that stuff. And I said, you know what? Invest $100 into Duke -3. And then after you win that, you're probably going to be up 190. You roll that over into a Christian McCaffrey touchdown, which is -190. So let's say you win, what, 40 off that?
What, if it was -190?
Yeah, if you put 100 on it. Or no, if you put 190 on -190.
Yeah, you'd hit it for 100.
100.
You'd win around just under $200 for both bets.
Yeah, so you'd be up what, like $300 to $400?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if you started with 100, you'd be up to like 3.
So, what you're saying is basically that investment would have been up 400% in a matter of 2 days.
You could have tripled up your money.
2 days, it would have been up 300%.
Tripled up your money
and we're
in 24
investing
hours.
in fucking crypto, in stocks. What are we doing when there's free money on the table? Crypto and stocks. Ugh. But yeah, other than that, I do feel bad for Brock Purdy because I don't know if you've looked on Twitter. I've been looking a little, and
haven't seen too much.
People are already starting to shit on Brock Purdy because he looked like a shell of himself today. So the reason why people are saying this, it's like, oh, Brock Purdy when he doesn't have McCaffrey, Debo, and Trent Williams, and it's like,
yeah, then it's like that's like your 3 best players. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we'll take any quarterback's 3 best players away off the team.
Yeah, I do feel bad for him.
And I wouldn't even put the loss on him either.
No. I do feel bad for him because it's like, I feel like now, because he was creeping towards being a favorite for the MVP.
He was creeping. He was
creeping
getting around. He was top 5, I think.
And when it comes down to the end of the season now, I think they're going to take games like this into consideration.
Yeah, he's probably.
They're going to be like, oh, well, he can't do this. It's gonna be headlines on sports.
Yeah, P.J. Walker.
It's gonna be headlines on sports all week. They're gonna be like, can Brock Purdy do without
Couldn't beat P.J. Walker.
Yeah, and most people were defending him these past couple weeks because a lot of people were like, to the naysayers that are like, oh, Brock Purdy's only good because they have McCaffrey, Debo, probably one of the best offensives of all time.
Yeah.
All these weapons
everywhere.
And a lot of people were defending him. It's like, not every QB can do that, but I'm still a Brock Purdy believer. I think he's still good. The Browns are a good defense.
Yeah, insane defense. And they shut down Kittle.
Yeah.
Big time. After he came off 3 touchdowns last week. Came out this week, 1 catch, 1 yard.
Yeah. And it's
bare minimum. Couldn't have done worse.
Yeah.
Besides 0 catches.
Yeah, and on top of that, I just think he's fine. I mean,
yeah,
the Browns are a good defense. They're
elite defense.
They're a frisky team.
I would call them top 3 defense.
Yeah,
top 5 at least.
They're frisky. It's going to be hard for me to make my top 10 this week because a couple of the top 10 teams lost. You still got the Cowboys and Chargers game to consider tomorrow. The Buccaneers lost. They're not looking good against good teams.
Oh, I just looked it up when we said who's Atlanta playing next week. It's the Bucs.
That's a big game. Tampa. That's a big game for both of them.
Tampa. Huge game for the Bucs.
Yeah.
Because they're at, what, 3-2?
It's hard because now you have the Bengals creeping up.
They're at 3-2 right now.
Yeah, the Bengals creeping up. I still don't think the Browns are a bad team. Top 10 is going to be hard going forward.
I would say Bengals and Browns are both creeping top 10.
Yeah, I think I might put the Bengals in my top 10 now. But we'll see. That's Thursday's episode. Browns are frisky. I mean,
I don't know if they can get it done without Deshaun Watson. So if he can come back and at least look pretty good, they could be looking deadly.
Yeah. The crazy part about it was that point spread was, so I think to start the week after last Sunday, the Niners were -3.5. And then, obviously, once the Deshaun news came out, -9.5. I was thinking before the game, because they came out to a hot start, I'm like, dude, imagine taking the Niners -3.5 at the beginning of the week.
Oh, no, you would have been feeling good.
Free fucking chicken,
Went up
dude.
6 points.
Free fucking chicken. And then it just became a shit show.
Yeah, I know. I think the weather did play a little bit of a factor into it. Moody missed a field goal early in the game. I think it was 50 plus, but it was at least 40. I think it was 50, and then he missed the second one, 41-yarder, game winner. But it's all good. Purdy threw a pick. I think it had a little to do with
he only had 83 yards, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they didn't have the greatest game passing, but I mean, I wouldn't count him out.
No, absolutely not. I don't know. Who's
hopefully McCaffrey's good.
And it was funny because we talked about the power rankings and going forward. I don't know, dude. I don't know who I'm gonna put at my 1.
Yeah, Niners is respectable to bump down to 2 if you want because they did lose.
Think about it.
Who's gonna go up to 1? Dolphins?
Are we just counting out the
I wouldn't put the Chiefs at 1.
I feel like
their defense actually looks good nowadays.
Here's the thing with the Chiefs. I feel like people just don't want to talk about how good they are anymore because it's kind of boring because obviously the Chiefs have been nasty for 6 years.
Yeah,
they've been nasty for 6 years now. Like they're boring to talk about because it's nothing new.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like Dolphins, 49ers, all these teams that are doing good this year, they're fun to talk about because they're fairly new. Like the Eagles obviously emerged last year, so they're still fun to talk about. The Dolphins are emerging this year, so they're fun to talk about. Brock Purdy's obviously a fun situation. But the Chiefs, it's just like the same old Chiefs. They're still nasty.
Agreed. The defense is looking good, though.
I think
recently.
it's tough. I wouldn't disagree with anyone either putting the Dolphins, Chiefs, Niners, or Eagles at their number 1. I wouldn't disagree with any of that. But I think it is something to be said that they are undisputably the top 4.
Yeah, agreed. Maybe Bills pushing it in there.
And then
I would maybe bump out the Eagles.
Here's something to consider. The Lions are 5-1 too.
Lions are up there. Lions are definitely
Lions
up
are
there.
very legit.
Lions are definitely up there.
So let's get into the 4 o'clock games.
I was very wrong about the Lions a couple weeks
Let's
ago.
get into the 4 o'clock games. We're starting off with the singular 4:05 game. Patriots. Good old Patriots. 17. The Raiders. 21.
This is my lock of the week. Raiders.
Minus
Money
2.5.
line and minus 2.5. They were about to not cover. They were only up by 2. Late game, Mac Jones safety, backdoor cover.
Mac Jones.
Anyone that had the spread was fucking probably going crazy.
Mac Jones was a ball sack hair away from getting benched again. And it was probably the funniest interception I've seen thrown. Because he had Hunter Henry wide open, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I got you," right to the safety.
Yeah, Mac Jones got to go. We're 1-5.
Looking at a top 3 pick, Drake May. I don't know if you watched the UNC game.
I'm
on
down
Saturday.
to just tank for number 1 at this point.
Well, we'd have to beat out the Panthers for that one.
Yeah, they need to get a win.
Yeah.
But we got a tough schedule coming up. I
But
see
even-
us dropping
even-
all these games coming up.
Even if we got the 3rd pick, though, Drake May.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've watched UNC,
Yeah, Drake
but
May,
he looks
Bo Nix,
super
Penix.
good.
There's a couple quarterbacks up there.
Drake May is really good. UNC's 6-0 right now, very quietly. We'll get into college after, but they're very quietly 6-0, and Drake May looks very good. They have a chance to win over FSU, who's also 6-0 for the ACC, but college later. Yeah, the Raiders got that.
Raiders pulling it off.
Yeah, they
Revenge game. Jimmy G and
Brian Hoyer.
yeah,
Brian Hoyer.
Too. I was thinking Myers.
You think
Myers.
that's and
Jacoby Myers? But
Josh McDaniels,
a lot of revenge games.
Jacoby Myers.
Chandler Jones. I don't know if he played. He probably didn't play, but he's on the Raiders.
He's off the team.
Oh, they caught him? Really?
Yeah, he got arrested, dude.
Jesus.
Like
yeah,
2 weeks
I know
ago.
he's been going crazy.
Yeah,
on
he's
Twitter
been
and shit.
going through some shit,
But,
which is sad to see. But a lot of revenge, a lot of revenge games. I didn't even think about it
It
because
did have a lot.
You got Jimmy Garoppolo. You got
Triple revenge game.
quadruple.
Oh yeah, if we're counting
Hoyer.
McDaniels, yeah.
Brian Hoyer,
the quad.
McDaniels, Garoppolo,
And Myers.
Wow. Quadruple revenge
Brandon
game.
Bolden. He's on the team.
Is he
I think
actually?
He's like third string.
But
That's crazy.
I wonder if that's the reason why McDaniels put in Hoyer over O'Connell. Because O'Connell didn't suck for them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, versus the Chargers, he almost pulled it off.
Yeah,
like
and
2
then
weeks ago.
and maybe he was like, dude, Hoyer knows something.
Hoyer knows Bill's defense.
Yeah, I mean, one highlight from the game, I guess. I mean, this game was boring, to be honest. But did Ezekiel Elliott get his first touchdown
He
there,
did.
too? I think that's worth mentioning.
He did. Zeke punched one in.
Yep. But Devontae Adams got fucking labeled.
Did get cracked.
Poor Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I know. Myers, he did better than him.
Myers has been looking good for the Raiders.
Yeah.
And the Raiders
Scored back-to-back weeks.
The Raiders are sneakily 3-3. Sneakily.
That's pretty sneaky.
They've beat
Yeah,
they've beaten
2 dubs.
bad teams to do it.
Back-to-back dubs.
Yeah, they've beaten bad teams to do it. Because honestly, at this point, I'm calling the Packers a bad team. Jordan Love stinks.
Yeah, they're not good.
I don't think we recapped that game because it was a Monday night game, but holy shit.
Yeah,
Jordan Love
bye
looked
this
bad.
week. Yeah, 2 weeks ago when they played the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't think we got to recap it though because it was a Monday night game, but he looks bad.
Yeah, he didn't look too good.
But hey, 3-3 is 3-3. You never apologize for your records. You never.
They're 500 team. They're right there.
Yeah,
they're right there in it.
And then next game, I don't have much for this game because it was another blowout game. Cardinals kept it close for a while, but the Rams 26, Cardinals 9. Rams are a sneaky good team still. I've been saying it all season.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp, still him. And all season I was riding Cardinals spread, but the last couple games they have not been covering the spread. So I am back. I am no longer riding the Cardinals. I'm going to keep it fair from now on and pick from my brain, not my heart.
It's a smart decision. Yeah, I think no James Conner was a low blow for the Cards. Couldn't really get too much going on offense. Like you said, 9 points, so 0 touchdowns.
No.
Josh Dobbs had a couple good scrambles.
Yeah.
Picked up a few first downs.
I mean, they kept it close for a while.
Yeah,
I think they were up, actually, for a little bit.
It was like a decent game,
But Rams obviously are
they couldn't do nothing on offense.
Rams are obviously ultimately the better team.
Yeah.
But I thought the Cardinals would at least cover, and it was looking like it. And then we got on the car ride here, and they just fucking Cooper Kupp. Brett Maher had like 5 field goals, though, which was good for my fantasy team, who's ultimately going to go to 0-6 now because I just so happened to verse the guy who wanted to start Adam Thielen and Chuba Hubbard over Jonathan Taylor and Terry McLaurin.
Yes.
I would respect the Adam
Jonathan Taylor is pretty bold.
I would respect the Adam Thielen over Terry McLaurin. But the Chuba Hubbard over Jonathan Taylor, what does this guy know?
He might be writing the
We
script.
should get him on the show.
We probably should. He's probably a script writer for Vegas.
Yeah. Because that's insane. I would never, in my right fucking mind, ever start Chuba Hubbard over Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard's a ballsy start. But he pulled it off. He got a touchdown. He didn't look too bad.
No, it did not. Oh, man. Let's see if this game's on. Give me 1 second, guys. Bear with me. We're not professionals
What's
yet.
the next one we're looking at? Eagles?
No, we're going to save that for last. We're going to get into the Buccaneers 6, Lions 20. Lions, as I said last week, very, 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 very legit.
They're pretty elite. Very good offense.
I don't know if
the
they
defense was clamping up too.
Yeah, they have a very
Bucs 0 touchdowns.
They have a statement game next week against the Ravens where they can legit stomp their foot down and say we are fucking here. Not to just show we're a playoff
that's a huge game.
Show
for the
that we are
Lions.
legit.
I would say it's a bigger game for the Lions and for the Ravens.
It's a big game for both teams because the Ravens.
If the Ravens pull
I think
it
the
off,
Lions, the Lions are ahead enough in the division. Like if they drop it, they drop it.
Yeah.
But it's a big game for the Ravens, where like the Steelers, the Steelers, Browns, and Bengals are like right there with them now.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Because the Steelers are 3-2, Ravens are 4-2, Browns are 3-3, or no, I think the Browns are 3-2 actually. And then the Bengals
they had a bye last week.
Yeah, and then the Bengals are 3-3.
3-3.
So all those teams have three wins, right there. So it is a big game for the Ravens.
Yeah, it is. Now that you say that,
I thought the Ravens were running away with it, but that Colts loss might ultimately screw them in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
But
if the Ravens pull this off next week, they are fucking back.
They're not back yet.
In action.
They're not back yet.
Not back yet. No. Not
They're
yet.
not dead though.
Yeah, no.
Not
they're right
dead.
in the middle. Yeah, they're definitely not dead.
So what
but
are
they're
they?
not back.
Like
They're treading water.
they're not in casket talk.
They're
right?
they're treading water. They're not drowning yet.
So we're doing a water comparison. We're not doing Undertaker comparison. Because I don't think
they're
the
not
Ravens,
in the casket.
they were never close to the casket.
Because you have to drown first, then to be in the casket.
Gotcha.
So they're treading water. They're right in the middle. They're treading.
We need to make a graphic of like teams
Yeah.
in the casket.
There's water, and then there's a casket. Then there's a grave.
Then there's like WrestleMania match, like in the match, and then like the winners.
Oh yeah, it's a backward scale though.
Yeah.
So it's a backward scale.
And then like the winners of WrestleMania, like raising their
championship
hands.
belt.
Yeah, like championship belts, and it's just like the Chiefs, Eagles, Niners, like those type of teams that are juggernauts. All right, I like where this is heading, but the Lions are really good. Shit, why are we talking about the Ravens? Because they're versing them.
I jumped into the Ravens.
Yeah, it was good to bring that up. And the Buccaneers, they've been frisky the past 5 weeks. They obviously had their bye.
I thought they could have kept it close, but I don't know. The offense really wasn't clicking.
The Lions' defense is really good too. But my thing with the Buccaneers is obviously their 2 losses now out of the Eagles and the Lions, obviously top tier teams in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's coming to the point where you're kind of figuring out teams, and I've decided that the Buccaneers' ceiling is like maybe a first-round win.
Absolute ceiling.
I would say
making the playoffs for them is like.
I would say that making the playoffs for them is a successful season. Their ceiling is the second round. Because if they can win the division and then play...
They'll have a home playoff game.
Yeah, they'll have a home playoff game against maybe like the Saints if they do well enough.
Yeah, like the Seahawks or something.
The Seahawks would beat them, though. Who knows?
I would take the Seahawks. Though.
I would, but like
the Chargers or something.
No. Chargers in the AFC.
Oh, yeah, facts. My bad.
No, you could. But, yeah, that's their ceiling, and I don't think there's any disagreements there. And
it could be like a Cowboys.
Oh, very true.
Eagles could win that division.
Very true, but that's if the Cowboys make the playoffs.
I know, Joe's
Cowboys take is if they
good.
drop against the Chargers, it has some life.
It does.
If they lose to the Chargers, Cowboys are treading water.
I think they're already treading. I'd put them.
They're already treading.
Yeah.
So if they lose to the Chargers, they're underwater.
They're
trying to get back.
They're drowning mid-round.
Yeah, they're trying to get
mid-round.
back. Yeah. All right, I like
mid-round.
that. I like that. This is great. This is a great comparison. Yeah. So one of the highlights, that Craig Reynolds block. Oh my God, that might have been the play of the game.
I think I might have missed that.
No, you didn't miss it. It was when Amon-Ra scored the touchdown.
Oh,
and Craig Reynolds
fucking
labeled. I think it was Carlton Davis. Oh my God, it was crazy.
Yeah, Amon-Ra was running up the sideline for a touch.
He came flying and cracked him. It was nuts. It was a clean block too. It wasn't a blindside.
No flags.
Nope. Amon-Ra.
Let the boys play. No flags.
Amon-Ra back.
Definitely back.
BACK.
Yeah, he missed
capital letters.
Missed a little game because of an injury, but he's definitely back.
David Montgomery got hurt too, which kind of
D-Mont getting hurt's kind of a blow for the Lions. They need Gibbs to come back.
But
Gibbs
Craig Reynolds throwing out blocks like that kind of makes up for the D-Mont injury.
He's going to be getting some extra playing time next week. Guarantee it. Guarantee he will.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if David Montgomery can do good behind that line, DeAndre Swift's done good behind that line. I'm sure if Jahmyr Gibbs got the touches, he'd be good behind that line. I think Craig Reynolds will be fine.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff is good enough to throw passes, get Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown down the field, Josh Reynolds, who's not looking too bad.
Laporta. Top 3 tight end at the moment.
Top 3 tight end. Probably top 1, not 2. And, I mean, like we've been saying, the Lions are very, very legit.
Definitely a lead team.
And which leads us to our last game besides the Sunday night game going on right now. The Eagles, 14. The Jets, 20. Huh?
What? Damn, Jets pulling it off. That's crazy.
Let me tell you something.
Back-to-back dubs for the Jets.
Let me tell you something. For the amount of shit Zach Wilson has been getting thrown at him,
he's
a
getting
3-3 record. Can we give some applause to Zach Wilson?
I know.
I mean, he didn't have a crazy.
Give him his roses.
He didn't have a crazy game, but I said at the beginning of the season, if Zach Wilson can be good enough just to keep the Jets in the game and be a game manager, they will be fine. And you know what's crazy is Aaron Rodgers throwing passes, no crutches, in the warm-ups.
Aaron Rodgers
was 40 years old
at the game.
Guy's 40 years old, tearing his Achilles a month ago, had surgery. A month later, he's back on the field throwing for warm-ups. If they can make the playoffs, which is very possible in the AFC that is just beating the living shit out of each other, Aaron Rodgers is back, and honestly, if Aaron Rodgers was starting for this team, we might be looking at a 6-0 Jets right now.
Could be.
Think about it.
They've had a few tough losses.
Think
they're
about
very, very close.
Think about it.
Versus the Chiefs, definitely.
They won against the Bills.
Beat the Bills.
They lost a close game against the Patriots, which the Patriots were trying to
deliberately.
They
were handing that to them.
The Patriots were trying to deliberately give that game back to the Jets many times.
Yeah.
And if Aaron Rodgers is playing in that game, they are losing. And we're looking at a 6-0 Jets team and an 0-6 Patriots team. And then the next week, who the Jets play? The Cowboys. They did get destroyed. But seeing how Cowboys have been dropping games against very good teams, I'm going to consider the Jets a very good team with Aaron Rodgers. They win that game.
I would probably still give them a loss there, but
all right, then we're looking at a 5-1.
Yeah, it's still
but
respectable.
Then we're going to the next
week.
week.
They would still be like 5-1.
Going to the next week against the Chiefs.
Close they should have won that one.
Close game.
Even with Zach
questionable
Wilson.
call at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Chiefs only win by 3 points. Then we go into the next week. They verse the fraudulent Broncos, who I'm not even actually calling frauds at this point because they never were supposed to be good. They just flat out suck.
Yeah.
They beat the Broncos.
They're flat out bad.
Now we go to this week. We got the 5-0 Eagles. We pulled the dub against the Eagles.
This is a huge statement
win.
Huge statement win for the Jets.
And I think their first 6 weeks was like the toughest schedule in the NFL. So going forward, they have some very... And you know what's funny is a couple weeks ago I mentioned how the Jets have a bunch of primetime games. Might be worth keeping them on now because they're a sneaky team.
Brees Hall touchdown. They let him. They kind of let him walk in there. It was at the end of the game, but
yeah, I was going to get into that. I wanted to
feed Brees Hall and you win the game.
So guess who they verse next week?
Who they got?
The G-Men.
Wow, that's another win.
And then the next week they have the Chargers at home.
Frisky game.
That could be a very... You want to know why I think that might be...
Is it prime time?
It is prime time. And here's the thing. The Jets have been very good on prime time. Brandon Staley, known choke artist on prime time. Watch out. And the Jets are home. And they might get hot going into it on a four. They won this week, so they're on a 2-game winning streak. If they win next week against the Giants, which I think they will go on a 3-game winning streak. And then, oh no, watch out. They get hot. 4-game win streak against the Chargers.
If they're riding this momentum.
I'm not gonna get their whole fucking season going here. But after that, they verse the Raiders.
Jeez, we could be looking at another dub.
And then after that, they got 2 tough games, Bills and Dolphins. If they can split one of those games.
So over the next 6 games, they could be looking at maybe like a 3-3 or 4-2.
That's playoffs.
Yeah, because they're 3-3 right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be they're hovering right around 500.
Mm-hmm.
Could be pushing for a playoff spot. Nice wild card spot.
Watch out for them Jets. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles. The Jets defense is good. That's never changed. Jalen Hurts threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah. Hurts didn't really come through for the Eagles.
The 5-0 teams.
Birds.
The 5-0 teams both shit the bed today. Hard.
Definitely. And I kind of like it now that no one's undefeated.
Yeah. Dude, the Lions are looking at that 1 seed now, licking their chops. Damn. They're all 5-1.
Yeah. Damn.
And
so like you said, that was a huge game for the Seahawks.
It was
because they would have been 5.
They could be 4-1.
They would have been 4-1. Yeah, because they had a bye.
But they could be right there.
Yeah,
it was a huge game for the Seahawks. Ultimately, they dropped it. AJ Brown had 125 yards for the 4th straight game, looking like a moose. Very good.
Yeah, he's still looking good.
Yeah, argument could be made top 5 receiver. Very hard in these days. There's a lot of good receivers in the NFL. A lot of them coming back.
I'd probably stick him top 5. Keenan Allen's making a push too.
I was thinking Keenan Allen in the back of my head.
Based off this year,
sneak in there.
Based off this season, yeah, he's been looking good.
Yeah, and then dude, that end of the game, the Eagles were up 14-12 with about 2 minutes to go, maybe. And God, they threw that interception. Jets almost took it to the crib, and then almost. I think it wasn't the right move analytically to score right away with Brees Hall, but I think for the Jets' momentum, it was good for them to score.
Yeah, and honestly, like in my opinion, like when that rolls around, like the end of the game where it's like, oh, should you go down? Should you score? In my opinion, you just score. Like you let the defense come out. You take the points.
So yes, but they only would have went up by, I think 5. If they kicked the extra point, but they went for 2, so they went up by 6. The Eagles still had a timeout, so if they scored, which, it's obviously the Eagles, so you can't count them out. Yeah. Obviously they didn't, but you can't count them out in that situation. If they went down and scored, they would have won the game if they just kicked an extra point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying it's not right analytically, but I think they made the right move scoring right away so they can just get that momentum. Because obviously the Jets' defense, as good as the Eagles are enough to go down the field, the Jets' defense is obviously good enough to stop them.
Yeah, cause turnovers.
Yeah. Ultimately the Jets won the game, and they made all the right decisions. Robert Saleh is a good head coach, and it's so unfortunate Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles because, God, that team would be looking at a fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, I like Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
Good coach.
What are the Jets on now? Are they just
Jets,
above the water? They're just
Jets,
swimming now. They're swimming.
I would say they're treading. Yeah, they're right there with the Jets,
the
Ravens, and the Cowboys.
I feel like
they're treading.
on a 2-game win streak, you can't say treading.
I would say, yeah, you're right. I'd
say they're just like swimming.
Yeah, they're getting a little flow going.
They're going towards the shore. They're going towards the shore.
They're swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting towards the goal.
Yeah, they're getting towards the shore.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, so that wraps up NFL talk. All the games. Right now, we got Buffalo at the Giants at Buffalo. It is 0-0 right now. And if I'm not wrong, the Giants are charging?
Tyrod Taylor revenge game?
I did say this was good for the Giants that Tyrod Taylor's starting.
Yeah, Daniel Jones
is
shit.
Trash. Biggest highway robbery of all time.
Ooh, Barkley.
But anyways, to wrap up the show, we'll get into a little college football, MLB. MLB only really headline was Phillies beat the Braves. Nick Castellanos, absolute fucking legend.
MLB record.
First ever back-to-back games with multiple homers in the postseason.
That's kind of crazy. Anytime you hear an MLB record, that's like more nuts than breaking an NFL or basketball record, because the MLB's been around for 100 years, like over 100 years. Been around for around like 150 years. So
yeah, so
that's
100
pretty crazy.
years, no one's ever done it. Castellanos, the absolute king that he is,
podcast legend.
Yes, made it.
Guest appearance soon. Stay tuned.
Made a deep drive to left field to take over that ball game.
They eventually won.
And dude,
pulled off the series win.
Being in Philly right now would be so electric, dude.
You're feeling very good.
Yeah.
After beating the Braves.
Well, here's the thing. The past few years, Philly has been coming in second a lot of these years. But it's like, you still get the vibes of like all your teams, making runs and shit. Mm-hmm. Like, at least as a Philly fan, you have like the confidence where it's like, we're going to make deep playoff runs. Like, you got the Eagles. You got the 76ers.
Yeah, multiple sports. They've been getting screwed.
You have the Phillies who made the World Series last year. They're probably going to make it again. Hopefully I don't jinx that because I'm rooting for them. I was rooting for the Braves, but it's hard to root against the Phillies. So it's like I wasn't really rooting against the Phillies. I was rooting for the Braves. Now I'm rooting for the Phillies because they're electric. They're fun to watch. I mean, Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber.
Trey Turner.
Kyle Schwarber hasn't even gotten going yet.
Schwarber bombs.
Yeah. And it's like,
usually does very good in the postseason.
Being in Philly, you gotta feel the vibes. It almost feels like what we had in high school, where the Red Sox, the Celtics, the Bruins, the Patriots, making runs every single year. Oh, it must feel so good to be in Philly right now. I know. I mean, obviously, the 76ers, they're gonna be good. Probably not good enough to make it past the second round. But they're still good. I mean, hey, they gave the Celtics a nice little run for their money last playoffs, so maybe you feel good about that. They probably feel horrible about it, but hey, whatever. But yeah, no, that's all I had, and Castellanos is just a fucking king. Been saying it all summer. You can check my Twitter, dude. All summer I was like Castellanos. Guy brings the good and bad times, if you know what I'm saying.
Heard you.
But, yeah. College recap. College recap. Before that, I want to mention something I saw on Twitter. Caitlin Clark for Iowa. You know who she is?
Yeah.
Absolute queen. I'd marry her. I don't care if she's 6 feet. I'm short. But, dude, she's a queen.
What about her?
Dude, she had like a triple-double in like the opening game
in
Iowa's football stadium.
Mm-hmm.
She scored more points than Iowa ever has in a game the past like 2 years in a conference game.
Jesus.
She scored 34 points, had a triple-double. Absolute queen, dude.
Damn.
She's a queen.
I remember a couple times when I was pulling sports cards, college cards.
You got Caitlin Clark?
And, nah. She was like in the pack though. She was like available. I didn't pull her though.
Oh, you meant someone else pulling the cards.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, like I didn't have Iowa as my team.
Damn.
But I seen a couple Caitlin Clarks.
Damn.
No autos or nothing.
That's tough. Caitlin Clark.
But those are probably even the base cards are probably going for a little bit. Once she gets drafted number 1 overall.
She should. They should just make like college. I don't know. I don't know how to help the WNBA at this point because women's college basketball is more electric than the WNBA. But, anyways, that was just a fun thing I wanted to throw out. College football, very electric weekend.
Yeah, some pretty big games. I wasn't too locked in on them. Didn't have any bets, but
UNC. Oh, I
gave him a little luck.
I had a great weekend. I cashed over $300.
Yeah, Ryan over here was hitting parlays left and right.
Cashed out $300. My units aren't that big, guys. So, if you want to make mine bigger, subscribe to the podcast so we can start getting paid for this shit. But
yes, sir. Like, subscribe, share.
No, big games. UNC had a big win against Miami. Drake May looked really good. Obviously, Georgia, won. Alabama pulled it out against Arkansas. They're still looking sneaky. Michigan's looking like a powerhouse.
Washington.
I was going to get into that after I mentioned a few things. Ohio State's obviously looking like mooses. I want to say something to FanDuel, though. Absolute cowards not putting the Penn State UMass spread on the sportsbook.
Wow.
You want to know why? Penn State was 5-0 against the spread before this game. The spread was 41.5. I would 100% take that spread.
Yeah, UMass is shit.
Yeah, it was 41.5.
Jeez, that's a lot of points.
I would have took it, and they won 63-0. FanDuel, you were absolute cowards for not putting that up. They're 6-0 against the spread. And you want to know what? They're going to Ohio State this weekend. Or next weekend, I should say. And let me tell you something. Penn State is a lock. That is my game of the year. I'm calling it right now.
Game of the
year. Penn State plus 5.5.
Lock it in.
I would even do the money line. But my game of the year is Penn State plus 5.5 against Ohio State. I'm going to actually give them the respect they deserve. Plus 5.5 against the Ohio State. To go into Michigan Veterans Day weekend and then win the Big Ten. Penn State is going to the college football playoff this year. I'm calling it right now.
Very confident.
And I'm so happy I get to actually go in depth with college this week because I love both the NFL and college. But I do think college is way more electric. I just think there's better games on. The stakes are high every single week. Oh, it's so – and it's even better this year because there's so many good teams. And, so before we get into Washington, I think we should talk about USC and Notre Dame because obviously it was a little more underwhelming.
Yeah, the one time I don't bet on Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
USC looks like very, very fraudulent. Obviously, Caleb Williams had a terrible game. I mean, I don't think it's his fault. I don't think it crushes his draft stock. He's still the number 1 pick. But – goddamn, Lincoln Riley looks like a fraud. I mean,
yeah, 3 picks for Williams.
Yeah, no, I was saying Lincoln Riley, the coach, because I mean, their defense is just terrible. Because Caleb Williams got them back in the game. I think they were down by like 11, maybe, and then Notre Dame just took one to the house off the kickoff, and ultimately just crushing USC's dreams of coming back. And yeah, USC. If you want to talk about that, they're drowned. They're in the casket because in college,
close it up.
Yeah, in college, you lose a game like that, you're done. Especially with Washington, Oregon on the rise in the Pac-12. They might not even make the Pac-12 championship. They're going into Utah next weekend, which is a huge game. I might be taking Utah because they did lose twice against Utah last year, which ultimately did not win them the Pac-12 championship. Keep that in mind. Cam Rising might be back. I don't know if he's even came back this season, but if he does come back, Utah's looking good against USC next weekend.
Utah and Penn State next week, boys. You heard it.
No. Penn State's the game of the year.
Penn State's game of the century for Seth.
No, not century. Not century. Game of the year, not the century.
All right.
Yeah. Century, like, I'd have to find something like crazy. Like, that was like that I would genuinely put like my balls on the table for.
Yeah, you got it.
Like, if someone had a knife, like, game of the century would be like if someone had a knife, I'd put him on the table, and if it loses, chop. That would be like a game of the century. Sorry to get too graphic, but that's just how it is. Anyways, Washington, Oregon. Absolutely electric game. It was just back and forth first half. Oregon had the opportunity to take the lead going into the second half, and they decided to go for it instead of doing the field goal, which I don't think would have taken the lead, but it would have got them down by 1. But if they scored the touchdown, they would have took the lead.
I think it was a smart move going for it.
It was a smart move then.
I've seen people were talking about.
Well, here
was
their issue with the going for it on fourth down. I don't think they had an issue with that one. There was 2 in the second half, one particularly late in the game, where obviously you have Michael Penix on the other side, right?
Yep.
Heisman candidate, probably going to win the Heisman now.
Yeah, favorite now.
Yeah,
Heisman favorite.
You obviously have Michael Penix on the other side. You're on like the 50, right? And it was like 4th and 3, and they decided to go for it instead of punting it, giving Washington the long field to do it with I think it was like 4 or 3 minutes left. Also, when Michael Penix goes down the field, gets it done. So that's why I think people had a problem with it, which is so electric. I want to go to one of these college game days. It looks so fun.
Yeah, I know. Especially if it's a shootout.
Yeah,
it's gonna be electric.
So Penix got it down the field. They scored, and then they got the ball back. And here's the thing: Oregon are low key fucking cheaters, and you want to know why? Because these motherfuckers go down the field, right? And I'm sorry for swearing, but these dudes go down the field. They catch a long pass, right? Yep. The tight end goes down. They had like one timeout left, so the tight end goes down. He holds one knee, and then holds another.
Was faking the
injury? He was
injury?
faking the injury. He was 100% faking the injury. I don't know who the tight end was, but whoever you are, don't lie. You faked that injury to get more time on the clock so you can get a couple plays in. Ultimately, Oregon got a few more plays in, and then they didn't. They were down by 3, so they didn't get it. So they had to kick a field goal to play for overtime. Just missed to the right. It was crazy.
Yeah, big dub for Washington.
Yeah, big dub for Washington. They're ranked.
Could be pushing the playoffs.
They're ranked 5 now, so it goes Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, FSU, Washington. So as long as they don't drop a game, which it is possible for them to drop a game because the Pac-12 is loaded. I mean, they still got to verse, they got to verse USC. I think they would win against USC, but, I mean, I still don't think USC is a joke. I think USC's home for that one, too. I mean, obviously, you still got to verse Wazoo, which is probably a huge game. You got to verse UCLA. They're not a joke. So, they still got a couple more challenging games, but I think they can get it done.
Yeah, I could see them making the playoffs, a little 4 seed.
Michael Penix bringing that big Penix energy,
Big Penix.
Big Penix energy.
Heisman.
Let's fucking go. And the Giants are up 3-0 right now. What a surprise. But next week, we have big games. Big college football weekend next week. So I definitely do want
some headlines.
Definitely do want to recap that. We have so one more thing I wanted to get into. Sorry. Duke -3 was the lock of the I should have done that for my game of the year.
Yeah,
I was saying it all week, dude. Yeah, so I didn't get into the story that I was going to get into earlier. So I said in the group chat, These motherfuckers are talking about spreads. Oh, no, we did talk about it. Sorry. Now I sound stupid.
Yeah, the McCaffrey rollover.
Yep. I'm excited. I'm so excited. But getting into next week.
It's all good.
We have Penn State versus Ohio State, like we mentioned.
Big game.
We have
Penn
Oregon.
State +5. Lock of the
5.5.
year.
5.5.
+5.5.
We have Oregon versus Wazoo. Wazoo's been looking shitty the past couple weeks, but it's still a Pac-12 game. Who knows? Tennessee versus Alabama. Game of the year last year.
Yeah.
That game was fucking nuts.
Hendon Hooker.
Yep, Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyatt, Bryce Young, all them, dude. Whew, that was a great game. I was in Georgia for that one. I've never seen so many fans, like, rooting for Tennessee so hard because, obviously, when you're in Georgia, they're rooting against Alabama. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was nuts. It was crazy. The whole bar was jumping up and down. I hate Alabama. Yeah. Oh, the bar was jumping up and down. They were going nuts when the Tennessee kicked that field goal to win the game. And obviously Tennessee stormed the field. It was the game of the year. I think it was like 52-49. Points. Mm-hmm. And so after that, we got Duke FSU. Huge games for both teams because Duke's obviously looking for a bowl eligibility. They're not going to make the playoff, 4 teams. FSU looking to stay undefeated and make the playoff because I can guarantee you if they lose that game, they are not making the playoff because you got teams like Oklahoma and Washington that are undefeated right behind you. Then we got Utah and USC. Like I said, that's also a big game. And then you have the huge rivalry game in Michigan State. Ultimately, Michigan State has looked like a dumpster fire. They let up a huge comeback against Rutgers this weekend. They've looked like shit. But it's still a rivalry game. Maybe we're in for a good one. Maybe.
Could be. Rivalry week.
Let me tell you something. I don't know what the spread is. But if it's higher than 20, I like Michigan State to cover the spread.
Even though they screwed you against Rutgers.
I think Rutgers screwed me against Rutgers. I'm not going to say Michigan State screwed me. Because Rutgers, they were looking like shit the first half. And They ended up coming back, but they didn't cover the spread. But if it's over 20, I like Michigan State. A lot of underdogs I like this weekend. But, anyways, that's about wraps up all the sports talk we've had this weekend.
Yeah, I don't got too much else to say. MLB is just...
Yeah, MLB's MLB.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the Rangers and Astros tonight. I don't know what the score is right now.
Diamondbacks Phillies should be a great series.
It should be a great series.
Phillies are probably like the favorite now to win it all, but...
No, I think the Astros are.
Really?
Yeah. The Rangers are up 1-0 right now against the Astros. Fuck, I took the Astros.
The Diamondbacks are like... They're fun. I would think they're a fun team. I would say
It's a very successful year for them, seeing that they're a very young team and probably didn't expect to make it this far.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the pitching staff kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Zach Gallen.
Yep.
I honestly didn't really ever even heard of him until this year.
Yeah, he did really good. Yeah, I mean, hey, we covered college basketball. I mean, no hockey highlights this week.
Yeah, I mean, NHL kicked off. There's been
it's hard to cover hard to
games.
cover the NBA and NHL when NFL's going on and MLB postseason.
Yeah, football is superior.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
far superior.
We probably won't get too much into NBA and NHL. I know Joseph and Cabral like the NBA and NHL. I think they're more Celtics and Bruins fans.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll get some Celtics. And Bruins talk,
so are we. Like we'll get into the Celtics and shit a little, but look for more basketball content and hockey content down the line, maybe in like April when the playoffs start. Because let's be real, March Madness is.
Around March or April, we'll dabble in.
Yeah, because February you have the Super Bowl, right, and then. That might be a little dead period, so maybe we get into NHL, NBA a little bit.
Yeah.
It's going to be challenging with our first year of the podcast, kind of dealing with that little dead period. But then we get into March Madness, and then we get, we're looking far ahead now. But, after March Madness, then we're looking at NBA and NHL playoffs. And then we'll get into it then.
And then we'll be rolling back around. At that point.
To the dog days of summer baseball.
I know. Yeah, April, May.
That'll be fun. We got to start coming up with content ideas for the summer. That might not include sports because, you can't talk too much about baseball.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, when it's MLB only, it's going to be a little dry.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, hey, we even covered a little women's college basketball today.
Yeah,
so
shout out Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark, absolute queen. Please come on the show. I love you. Yeah, that's the show, guys. Thank you if you're watching this. Thank you for sticking around for the two-man show. I'm sorry Cabral and Joseph couldn't make it tonight. Nick Rue, please come back on the show.
Come back, Rue. We miss you, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.